Hello VC, it's Matt again, the Vinyl Minimalist. Before I will start today's video, I would like to say a big thank you to Mazzy. Some of you will definitely know that Mazzy introduced my channel in one of his videos. Not only mine, but also a few other little small channels, beginning channels in the vinyl community. I find that absolutely amazing that Mazzy is promoting the small channels and making them grow. And what I also find quite amazing is how Mazzy is caring about diversity. Well, my channel is very different compared to Mazzy's, and he just accepts it the way it is and promotes it. So a big thank you. If for any reason you do not know Mazzy's channel yet, I will post the link to his channel below my video. Okay, this week I do not have a lot of time, but I still wanted to make a short video just to keep going, just to keep some consistency. So the idea was to just show my top 5 jazz albums. When I started pulling the jazz albums out of my little collection, I very soon realized that that was impossible to choose only 5. So then I thought, okay, so then I'll choose 10. And very soon I realized that it was impossible to only choose 10. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to show 5 albums. I'm going to show 5 that are among my favorite jazz albums. And I will not show any albums that I've shown already. That's the first rule. And the second rule is that I will not show any obvious blue notes. By obvious blue notes, I mean albums, for example, such as Moaning by Art Blakey, or Song for My Father, Horace Silver, or The Sidewinder by Lee Morgan. You know, albums that many people know and almost everyone that knows them loves them. Yeah, obvious blue note albums. There will be one blue note that for me is not very obvious, so hopefully, well, probably not for you either. Let's start. We will start by John Coltrane, Giant Steps. For me, this is the best Coltrane album. At least my favorite, maybe not the best, but my favorite. I also love, of course, A Love Supreme, which is a masterpiece, but I prefer this one because, well, I don't know why, it's just great. So if you don't know the title track, Giant Steps, you should have a listen to it, because that track really changed jazz. It moved jazz forward. So what Coltrane was trying to do, he was trying to pick up the chords that would be the furthest away possible from each other on the scale, or put in other words, chords that do not go well together, and make a song around these chords. That's what he did, and the result is a song that it sounds kind of strange, but at the same time it's really fun to listen to. It doesn't sound as bad as it maybe would supposed to sound according to the music theory. It's actually a fun song, and apparently it's very difficult to play. It's very difficult to improvise to the Coltrane chord changes. Yeah, so that's the opening track. There are many other great songs. The A side is great, and then you return. The record and the B side is even better. Amazing, an amazing record. This copy, it's a late 1960s copy. I'm really happy to have it in my collection. I don't have very many old American copies, old American pressings. They're not very easy to find in Europe. Obviously, you can always buy them overseas and ship them to Europe, but of course that's more costly. So yeah, I'm really happy to have it, even though it's not very old. It's probably late 60s, maybe even early 70s, but I really like the thick cardboard, and it's a good pressing, a good sounding pressing, and I probably overpaid it in one of my local record stores, but I don't regret overpaying it because I enjoy it a lot. The second one is another masterpiece by another jazz legend, which is Charles Mingus, and his masterpiece, in my opinion, the best, the most important Charlie Mingus album, which is The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. I also love the cover, I love the photograph. So if you do not know, this was composed as a ballet and it might be interesting to see how they dance to this music. I never had the idea actually to try to look it up on YouTube if there is any ballet video to this music. In any case, what I like about it is that it's a conceptual album. It's basically one very long song, yeah, and it's amazing. It's very emotional. That's what I love about Mingus's music. It's very, very emotional. It's very melancholic. Some people might find it hard to listen to, hard to learn to love, but for me it's not. It's easier to listen to than all of free jazz. It's, I believe, in maybe easier to listen to than Monk. So definitely one of the most important jazz albums. Next, oh, and this is, I really love this one, Jerry Mulligan's Night Lights. I believe this album might be underrated. I know that there are some people who on the vinyl community talking about this album, but still I think it maybe deserves even more attention. This is very soft music. It's mostly ballads. It's typical night music or evening music. I very rarely listen to this one in the morning, and it's fantastic. It's got some bossa nova. It's got one bossa nova track. It's got some classical music. Jerry Mulligan took one of the Frédéric Chopin pieces and turned it into a jazz piece, and it's amazing. If you don't know the Chopin original, then you would think it was written as a jazz piece. It's really amazing. What I also love about it is the quality of the recording. You feel as if you were inside one little room with all the musicians. You've got the impression they're very close to you. You hear the air coming out of their horns. Really great. Jerry Mulligan, he is playing a baritone sax. You see a huge saxophone, and he's also playing a piano on this album. I also like the horns. You've got a baritone saxophone, you've got a trumpet, you've got flugelhorn, and you've got a trombone. I really like this diversity of horns. It's not the typical jazz, just a trumpet and a tenor, or a trumpet and alto. It's a bit more, and the horns, I would say, are a bit lower on the pitch. Baritone saxophone, of course, is lower, also trombone and flugelhorn, and this gives the album a very special atmosphere. So if you don't know this one, absolutely go ahead, check it out. This might be maybe not very easy to grab. The copy that I have is a Japanese copy from the late 1980s. The quality of the pressing is really very good. Even, I guess it's from 1989, and even for the late 80s, the cardboard is quite thick. The sound quality is really amazing. I mean, I'm by no means an audiophile, but to me that sounds really very, very good, and the music is just amazing. Okay, two more. So now we are showing a Blue Note, that I believe is very, very underrated. Duke Pearson, he's a piano player, a musician that not many people talk about. I know that Ken McAuliffe, the jazz vinyl lover, he likes this album. I guess he showed it also once. But apart from him, I've never seen anyone actually showing it and liking it and so on. It's amazing. It's a masterpiece. For me, this is on the same level with Horace Silver, Song for My Father. It's a must-have Blue Note, actually. The compositions were written by Duke Pearson, I guess all of them as far as I know, and they're very emotional. Many of them are very positive, very happy, some of them are melancholic, plenty of emotions, and there's lots of positive energy in this album. And the reason might be this young lady. She was fiancée of Duke Pearson's fiancée, and by the time that this album was issued, they were supposed to be married already. Yeah, again, I guess it's not that very easy to get. The copy that I have is a one from the 1990s, an American copy, which I'm okay with. I mean, I prefer copies from the pre-CD period, well, up until the 1980s. I definitely do not like the barcode, well, but okay, I'm happy to have a copy of this as an LP, as a vinyl record, so enjoying it a lot. And last but not least, another masterpiece by another very famous name in jazz, which is Herbie Hancock and his Headhunters. Herbie Hancock's music evolved a lot throughout the decades. He started with hard bop, but very early on he got into modal jazz, and then in the 70s this is his contribution to funk and to fusion jazz, or jazz fusion, whatever you call it. This is a great album for people who are struggling to get into jazz. If you're into rock music and funk and soul, give it a listen and you will love it. It's one of what I call the dangerous albums. I can't really describe why I call them dangerous, but the music is dangerous, the cover is dangerous. First, when I saw the cover, I found it kind of, I don't know, I didn't like it a lot, but now I love it. You have a look at the colors, it looks like a poisonous snake, dangerous. Have a look at the head of Herbie Hancock as a headhunter with the mask. At the same time, you know, with these electronic, very modern 1970s elements. It's great, it's fantastic. The music, it's really powerful. It's very funky. You cannot sit still and listen to that music at the same time. You have to keep nodding your head and keep thumping your feet or whatever. It's very, you can very easily get hooked on this album. So don't try working or studying while listening to this album. Okay, and that's it with 5 of my favorite jazz records. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope we will see each other in the next video. Bye bye.